Are you guys ready? Here we go.
I've got the power of Thor in my hands. Thunderous hammer that will sing across all the land. I've got the power of Thor in my hands. Lightning strikes as the storm through the valleys of death.
Please, all women. Oh, we got a stack for you guys. AJ's coming. And this is what he's bringing. Shout out to the chat.
When you're in a place called the manosphere, you gotta handle shit like men. Real men. And if you're a member of Rule Zero, you know damn well what time it is. Show up or ship out. If you hold the title, you better be damn ready to defend it. Two goes in, one comes out a champ. Who will it be?
Life is a journey filled with twists and turns. Why is it that essential life lessons aren't taught in school? You probably know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but do you know how to invest in a Roth IRA? We're not taught to build ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. The roadmap to success is more than just a college degree. You don't have to follow the traditional route. Success isn't confined to a classroom. It's about discovering your own path. You ever wish that someone handed you a guidebook to life when you were 18? Well, it's never too late to rewrite your story. Everything I wish I knew when I was 18. Advice for young men to create a great life for themselves. This book is your compass, guiding you to pick the right career, how to invest wisely, and how to prepare for a fulfilling future. To take control of your health and your fitness. Learn how to date efficiently and find genuine desire. And master the art of leading healthy relationships. Your path is defined by the choices you make, not by others' expectations. Don't wait until you're 35 to unlock your potential. Order your copy now on Amazon. Rewrite your story. Build the life you deserve.
Masculinity is in crisis. What are we to do? We need to acquire a dominant masculine presence. Now available on Amazon. Masculinity is in crisis. Men's masculine behaviors and traits have been suppressed by popular culture. Why has it become so popular to shame, guilt, insult, masculinity, and masculine behaviors? After 50 to 70 years of this has resulted in a very large subset of men who have become weak, useless, and crisis. Pathetic state for boys and men that leads to depression and violent despair. A dominant masculine presence addresses this very dilemma for the individual man, and it firmly establishes why this is what is desperately needed by the individual man today. In this book, clearly defined masculine traits and behaviors and the emotional durability provided by traditional masculinity are presented as a guide to what every man should embed into his identity. Putting these principles and behaviors into practice will motivate and direct your path step to step to create for yourself an authentic, dominant masculine presence.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, guys. This is AJ with ARMDetails. I am hosting today's show. So, with the guilty verdict given a couple weeks ago, the court of public opinion defeated the newest Batman of the MCU, Kang the Conqueror. I've seen the video of Johnathan Majors running from his ex-girlfriend, attempting to de-escalate. I listened to the voice recording of him setting boundaries and expectations for her as his career was starting to ascend. But yet, a New York City jury still found him guilty. Why is that we see men, especially athletes, celebrities, and politicians, get slammed with false accusations? Climb aboard and let's have a heated discussion. Should we believe all women? Only one panel show stands above to lift all others, by being a rising tide. No hate, only love. So arm yourself with the expectation or the experience of these successful men with real world input and willing to put themselves out there for your benefit. And I am joined today by RP Thor, Skull. Then thank you for having me at the helm today instead of being in the engine room with Nuke. We got Paul Bauer from the Come On Man podcast, Mr. Producer Glenn, the Hudsman himself, and from the heart of Sin City, Mike Steele.
Awesome. Look at these guys, man. Sure appreciate all of you. Huds, it's been a long time, man. Welcome back aboard the DragonShip. Pick up an oar, stow your shield, and get ready to go as a rising tide lifts all ships. Glenn, holy crap. Look what we got here. We got my VP sitting down there with Paul. Of course, we also have, the Huds. And we've got Glenn Lawrence, Master at Arms. He's over there on the cannons. I can see that right now. Where did he go? Did he jump out?
It's like I got to run.
Glenn is a button pusher, literally in real life. He is a button pusher. I'm sure he just hit the back button and he'll be right back in here. We got to kind of limit the button pushing in real life.
There he is.
I see him. All right, yeah.
Look at button push. Hey, and we have the Master at Arms. For,
it's not a show that I'm on that I don't end up kicking myself out at least once or twice.
Hey, I appreciate all your guys' support during the last couple of weeks. It's been a challenge for me to get out there and get online, and I appreciate it deeply. You guys are true friends. I appreciate that. AJ stepping up here to do the hosting duties. I want to say one thing about the DragonShip. The DragonShip truly is the tide that lifts all ships. I will say this. Having fun with this podcast thing, it seems like a dream to so many people. And it seems like a golden opportunity to be social, get some fame. And that's very, very attractive to many men. But when you when you come out and you actually do this, you realize that it's a tremendous amount of work. And generally, there's nobody there to mentor you or guide you through that process. And most people have a lot to actually add. But to actually add to the discussion and add to the value takes a little bit of mentorship, some leadership. And while there are folks that can step up and actually do it, every man here knows how hard it is. And so part of the DragonShip is that, through our memberships like the Beer Club and the Dragons monthly membership, we're able to offer those sort of guys a chance to come on the panel show and see how they do in front of these live audiences. And hopefully they'll actually progress to the point where they can share their knowledge in webinars behind the paywall where it really, really counts. We'll talk about that next. In the next few weeks, I'll be doing a live Dragons meeting where we discuss that. But the main point is the guys want to create their own channel, do their own content. The DragonShip is an excellent place to cut your teeth. And I can prove it. How many members of Rule Zero do we have on the DragonShip as of today? We have a new one. Nuke has just made panel member of Rule Zero. Congratulations, Nuke. And where the hell are you? I just put a post in there. You said you'd be here, and you're not here yet. So I guess he's too high and mighty now that he's a Rule Zero panel member.
Too good for us now. He's too good.
And
we all had that
$5
moment.
super
Like we
chat.
show up fashionably late now because we just got off Rule Zero because we're big time, podcasters.
We're big time Manospherians,
Yeah, like we got clout now. We got
Paul, that's actually sticking. We coined that term last year at the New Year's thing. We call it the Manospherians. There'll be the year of the Manospherians, and we were dead right.
What's funny is like so me and Paul are doing a show tomorrow where we are putting out the fight video, right? We're gonna do like a watch party, but what we're gonna do is we're actually like recapping events that happened throughout 2023, whether it's our personal events that we wanted to highlight or things that we did with other people, like whether it's like other content creators we did a show with or something, or just something, anything that was memorable for us throughout the year, we're gonna highlight. And I'm putting all the videos together. Like Paul gave me some videos that he wanted up, and I'm like, dude, I really want to go and highlight some of the things that we did all together, like our last Manospherian predictions, and when we were predicting about certain people, and if you guys remember correctly, we made some comments and predictions about a certain somebody, and then they decided that they needed to do a live stream about us.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
That was great. That was
all tongue in cheek. That was actually good for all of us. Yeah.
I got I'm bringing that clip back out. I was like, we can't like just not talk about it. That
So Mr. Producer instigates it, and then he gets all the love. Paul gets all the hate.
I know it's funny.
I love it though.
I love it. It started the whole Manosphere championship thing.
The funny thing is like I'm the one that made the video, and I'm the one that edited it, put the boobs up and everywhere. But she said she loved me, but she hated Paul.
I know. God, if we could have got her on the Fall Fight Club, you guys could have really reminisced about WWE. I think maybe she was the root cause, huh?
Yeah. It's funny because like even like HUD's like I'm going through a lot of our clips, and I noticed that like when we did the when we said like the FBI has like Rollo and everybody on the list, we kind of were foreseeing that because that ended up happening with the DHS, right?
Oh yeah, they've created.
But we reported on this. We reported on this over 6 months ago that this happened. So it's kind of like we're like Nostradamus a little bit.
Well, we're ideally suited to be a bad guy because we're not very impactful, but the impact we can have is as a patsy, because I don't know if you're aware of this. There's a huge push. Nikki Haley is behind it. And the push is to push for a digital ID for you to even access the internet.
Yeah,
that's fact. And that has stemmed right out of the WEF. And now they're pronouncing there will be a cyber attack that's devastating the infrastructure. Man, what better patsy than a bunch of red pill incels? I mean, think about it. So, if we're doing predictions, I won't drag you down too much further because this year is going to be a great year. It's a roller coaster event. All election years are, and we are in the midst of it. So opportunities will abound. We are living in abundance, Mr. Paul. It is going to be the law of attraction times 10.
For sure. I do want to say this, guys. If you guys want to watch the stream tomorrow, Where'd Mr. Producer go again? He's clicking buttons again. But go to Glenn's channel, become a channel member on Glenn's channel, because that jabroni didn't do a whole lot of work selling the match. I'm calling you a jabroni.
You're talking shit. Don't end up. Let's not do this again. I already kicked you out one time.
Hold on, I'm helping you out. Relax.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Keep on talking.
This jabroni didn't spend a lot of time selling the match like I did, so he needs more channel members. And so if you guys want to watch the match, go to Glenn's channel, become a channel member. You can watch it live with us on Glenn's channel tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Yeah, and I was even advertising that match the whole entire time on my live streams and on my individual videos with Glenn's link.
Oh, cool. I hope I don't know. I didn't get any sales, so but it's cool.
Hey, yeah, I'm a nobody. I got 29 subscribers. So
hey, don't worry, I'm a nobody too.
We all are, guys. We all are, you know. Hey, and I want to do a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Cliff, Dame Digital. We'll start seeing all those guys pour in. I hope that's the real Nuke. He said smash the like button. I assume it is. Get in here.
That was me. But you know what is
okay
up with StreamYard, because it's not showing stuff on my channel, but I see it. But the stream is streaming to my channel.
Oh,
so
it's not. It's not tagging.
Something's up with StreamYard right now.
Jinx is in there. CW is in there. So we got some good guys in there. Go ahead and engage with us. Be sure and support your favorite channel with super chats. I mean, most of us are able to do that. Nearly all of our nearly every episode we have is immediately demonetized and limited. It's just part of the algorithm. I mean, I did some experiments with that. It's like I have thumbs down and removed myself and have never subscribed to Chris Williamson, and I'll be damned. Every time I play Rollo, the very next video is Chris Williamson. I play any of Glenn Lawrence, the next video is Chris Williamson. I mean, these guys are on the biggest push. Even though you thumbs it down, you dislike it, you don't want to see it again, that algorithm is replacing your auto feeds with what they want you to hear, not what the truth is. And if you think that's not curated, it is sprinkled with little bits of sugar to get you interested, but it is definitely curated. And part of the problem with that mainstream stuff is that it creates this level. They're the ones that also support Believe All Women. We got some guys on the panel today that are very, very experienced in this area and why it impacts their lives so much. And we're going to let them loose on that real quick. But another quick announcement, guys, I've reduced my channel membership to 99 cents. 99 cents. You're going to get preferred chats. Look, we ain't doing this for the money, but we will have private chats with members only. 99 cents for the month is nothing. You're going to get at least you're going to get to view a little bit of the old Tridents. We'll try to bring that back. Some fun stuff like that. And it puts you in a different segment than some of these spammers that are out there. Of course, we all like free stuff, but if you just even enjoy the small clips that come out of this, because Paul does some fantastic ones on his channel, you know, join his channel too. He's got a very reasonable membership. Glenn does as well. So support your favorite, Drakkar on the DragonShip, and we appreciate that. So I'm gonna turn it over to
Thor, real quick. I wanted to say something about you mentioned about the channels or like how they're putting up Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
I have an article and I'll send it to you where they literally said that they're not gonna like stop people's channels so much, but what they're going to do is they're going to play some, or they're going to suggest something that's exact opposite, or that's more what they approve of.
Yeah, I got the article. Yeah, it came out of Homeland Security, and it's very obvious. I challenge everybody here to test it. Yeah, there's a couple other ones. Bedron Kulios is in the club. They're going to start pushing him too.
Yeah, because like I noticed, like I've been getting a lot more like call her daddy, or you know, stupid like chick like pro like chick feminist podcasts like popping up, or like you know, suggestions. I'm like, I don't like any of this shit.
Yep. No, and they're pushing Bedros right now. And guys, he's being touted and drug around as the masculine authority. Let me tell you something. It's a 180 degrees opposite. He's telling everybody to cry, be vulnerable. He's going down that path. But he's got a beard, man. He's got a beard and some salt and pepper. And he has that voice that sounds like Glenn. So, you know, but he is not.
Don't insult Glenn like that.
I didn't say he was on Glenn's level. Just sounded like it.
No.
Yeah,
Never.
But be aware, you know, that it's really, really wild out there what they try to get people to believe. And you could prove this yourself with your auto feed. Turn your autoplay on. Play one of our channels and watch what comes in your next one. big time. And then I don't know about you guys, but every single video I get is limited or unmonetizable. And what they do with that, I think I got tagged because I originally had my stream as Red Pill. And so that was the tag. So ever since monetization had occurred, not that there was much, we're talking pennies. They demonetize it, and then you can appeal it because they're fair. It takes a week to do so. So you miss the entire section of views that would have generated you money. And then they come back and say, wow, your video has been reviewed by our select crack staff, and it is completely monetizable for all audience from now on. Do you think they went back and retroactively allowed me to get those?
But you know what I noticed? Like I haven't put out such triggering videos in a while. Or at least in my last few live streams haven't been triggering. And now my unlimited thing doesn't pop up no more. It's good. It just stays green. So like
you haven't got any limitations on.
I haven't had any limitations for like the last 2 weeks.
Good
on my video.
Oh, that just got ruined today because
I probably just ruined it right now.
Wait, we got something special for Glenn. Glenn, we did bring something. We were really thinking about you. I mean, we missed you, son. Yeah. We missed you, so we brought out something extra special on your new journey, and here it is. There is your swear jar, son.
Cool.
Right there for you.
Cool. I'm gonna get
you definitely need a swear jar.
I'm gonna get fucking rich that way. Thank you guys.
Oh no. That's for you to pay us.
No. Fuck you. Fuck all you.
Hey, the swear jar is supposed to work.
It doesn't work. Here? You know what? Like, where's the gay husband? Husband, come on. You know, what? Get him some gay dating or something. Redirecting the conversation. I don't want to pay nobody.
Why do I have to talk about gay dating?
Because you're the best gay dating coach in Philly.
Guys,
I wish we had that.
Okay. We got a lot to get to. I am going to pass the football, or in this case, I'm going to pass Thor's hammer over to AJ, who is now a folder car and will be hosting his own shows, just like Nuke and everybody else here on the DragonShip. Here you go. AJ, give us a little bit of background about yourself before you get started with today's topic. We'd all like to know a little bit about you now that we're kind of relaxed and just kind of bullshitting here. Let's get at it.
So I just, AJ, living down in the DFW area. I do detailing as a side hobby. I work in the data center industry doing critical facilities. So HVAC, electrical, plumbing, that kind of stuff to keep your servers on for my daytime job. And like this little subject today kind of comes near and dear to my heart a little bit. I got arrested, full disclosure. It's been dropped for a DV4 in Washington for yelling at my spouse because it's illegal. That's a DV4 harassment charge there. With my most recent ex-fiance, there was one fight about 2 years ago this month that I literally walked back inside the house and I was waiting for the cops to come get me, even though I didn't do anything wrong, just because that's how things work. So when I saw like the Johnathan Majors thing, I'm like, oh man, we definitely need to do an episode on that. And then you had like Russel Brand, Jonah Hill, Vin Diesel comes out of nowhere. You had Justice Kavanaugh a couple years ago. So figured also with Glenn and a few of these other guys here, they might have experience as well to talk about it. And pulled up some statistics if we want to talk about those as well. That like kind of
you can drop them in the share anytime. I'll help you. But tell us a little bit about yourself, though. I mean, who is AJ?
Who is AJ?
Come on, Nuke. Let's get in there. Come on, start talking about like the butt pirate stuff you used to do in the Navy.
Oh man, I just operated the nuclear reactor on the submarines, and then Then I got out of there and started doing industrial maintenance and worked my way into the data center industry. So there's that. Played a little bit of bass on the side, do automotive detailing, single, making that 6-figure income, enjoying life.
Now you became Red Suppository aware just a few years ago, right?
Yeah. So in 2021, I flew home because my parents' house burned down, total loss. And my now ex-fiance had a coworker over, and then kind of got into a little bit of blue pill fair recovery advice, and that brought me to Rich Cooper's channel, which then brought me over to Rolo, brought me onto Rule Zero, got with MLD, worked with him for 18 months, and then switched over to Thor.
I could see the change. Just you're getting another level.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with Believe All Women? This has been out there for longer than just the Me Too movement,
Yeah. It's just one of those things that's like, should we just believe them and go with the court of public opinion? And it's like, or should we actually investigate this stuff and get down to like the further point? And like that was where some of this research I did that was like kind of staggering, where most of these false accusations come from. It's like, wow.
Do you guys know where this really started at? Are you guys old enough? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. So back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a big movement with psychologists, and they had adopted what they called repressed memory syndrome. And so several psychologists had interviewed children, and they basically used conditioning language to tell the children that they had been physically abused and raped at these daycare centers. And this spread across the nation. It's so much so that they tore down houses to find secret chambers underneath these daycare centers. And they destroyed a family out here in California. I don't know if you remember. They absolutely destroyed them. They went to criminal trials, all the family members that were involved in daycare. And when they actually, the defense attorneys looked at the interviews for the children as evidence, and the big push then was children don't lie about these things. You know, they didn't. They repeated what the psychologist said. So the psychologist would say, here's a doll. Show me where they touched you on the doll. And then they would get excited when they would touch it in a bad spot. So the kids would want to touch in the bad spot and get a reaction back. Socially, they were playing the game. And they continued to do this. And they actually showed that most of the children would do the same exact thing, even though none of this actually occurred. And then they would convince the children that, oh, bad things happen. It's okay, dear. It's okay. Give them the attention, the attention, the attention. That really threw the allegation thing out. You know, they were acquitted. Thank God we had judges and people of actual stature that realized children do lie, and they get misled by parents a lot. And that goes right into adolescence. You ever go to junior high school and know anybody not to lie? No. And unfortunately, the maturity level of most modern women is right there at that junior high level.
And children don't have to be taught to lie. They do it naturally.
You remember the movie The Inception?
Yes.
Where like they plant the thought in your head.
Yes.
That's basically what they are doing. Like it's also a feminist tactic when they practice like hermeneutics. It's called like reinterpretation or recreation, right, of facts or like of narrative. And it's like literally they put themselves like in a trance where like, you know, they're like meditating, right? And then, you know, like they reconstruct this this event, and they'll even get into detail. What does the room smell like? What does this cologne smell like? Like when they're describing, when they're talking to their counselor, right? Like their counselor is like guiding them through this alleged event that took place, and this person's just making stuff up, but it's like they end up believing it. You know, it's weird. It's weird.
There was no repercussions for the psychological community. They had all adopted it. It was AMA approved. When the acquittals happened, they silently moved away. Now you hear something that's been acknowledged decades later, false memory syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same thing that happened with this, like the chick that went after Kavanaugh.
That's correct. That was false memory induced by somebody else.
Yep.
No repercussion.
No, and there's not going to be a repercussion. And you know why? There's never going to be a repercussion. I mean, unless unless you could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they maliciously decided, like the chick that went after the Dodgers baseball player, right? That she had maliciously went after him, right? And she planned it. Like, unless you get that lucky, you're not going to be able to, they're not going to feel any consequence, because all they're going to say is like, well, we just be able to prove that, you know, we just said that you're not guilty. And and I tell you this from experience, what they will tell you is that doesn't necessarily mean you're not guilty. That means we just didn't have enough evidence to convict.
Well, it's like also when I was
family courts have approached it that way as well.
Yeah,
it's like when I was doing the research for this, that Center for Prosecutor Integrity stated that 99% of false accusations go unpunished.
Yeah, they never face a consequence.
Is there a law against falsely accusing people?
Yes, there is, but the being able to prove it is so difficult. Like, you literally have to prove that this was premeditated, like this, they had this plan to do this, like, or it's just like they just assume that, hey, you're lucky that we just didn't convict you. So why are you complaining? You know, like that's their mentality on it.
Well, that's because the family courts have become courts of equity, which means the first accused is guilty. So
Well, it's not even
if
the
they
family
falsely
court.
accused that they're not held to the same standard because they immediately would cry innocent until proven guilty. How dare you? But
Well, this is like,
the
this is
first
not family
accuser
court.
is guilty.
It seems to be though that it
I know, but
only
it's bled over
applies
into
to-
criminal court as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems that it only applies to man on woman
Yes.
accusations, because if I go to the police and I accuse my neighbor of murder, and they find, and they're going to ask me, who did they murder, and I name the person that they murdered, and they look and they're like, oh, that person's not dead, they're alive and well. Well, you accuse this person of murder falsely, guess what would happen to me? I would be in deep crap with the police.
Well, you know, actually, they're getting a little bit better in certain instances where, like, I've read articles and reports on like guys that were like slapped by their girlfriend or something. Just nothing like major like DV, but enough DV to where like when the police got there, you know, she went away rather than him. And she slapped him. Now it wasn't like a huge slap or anything, but she smacked him in the face, and he said that to the police, and the police ended up taking her. But those instances are so far and few in between, and it really just goes back to like this narrative that's been being taught, not only just out in society, but it's also being taught in like in religious circles and everything, is that men are innately evil. We are innately bad. You know, some theologians would even say that in order for men to be more like, you know, Christians, they have to become more feminine. They have to become like women, and women to become like angels. So it's like guys already start off at the negative spot. So they already have this preconditioned notion that you did something wrong. I mean, when we ask guys, and when guys tell us like their relationships break up, a lot of blue pill guys will say to you, well, what did you do wrong? Already assuming that you are guilty of doing something to cause this. So it's embedded in us, you know, in our society, to automatically just assume and accuse the guy for doing whatever, you know, he's allegedly accused of.
When I was a little kid, luckily my parents stepped in and corrected the misbelief. But I remember very distinctly when I was a little kid going to church, I was talking to this other little girl, you know, in my Sunday school, and she told me that all men go to hell and all women go to heaven. And I asked her why. She says, because God said so. And I went crying back to my parents, like, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. And they're like, why are you saying that? And I told them what the little girl said. And luckily my parents set me straight, like, no, we all go to hell until we accept, you know, the sacrifice of the cross, then we get to go to heaven. So
yeah, but if you think about it, if all women are in heaven and all guys are in hell, hell is actually gonna be pretty peaceful.
Sounds like a big party.
Man, doesn't sound like a bad idea, man.
You know, and actually I think that
Pretty
no
relaxing.
women,
It's gonna be like Club Med. Yeah.
I just don't think women are in heaven. Actually, I think it's the other way around, because there is a scripture in the Bible that says like when the seventh seal was broken, there was silence for 30 minutes. And
What
There's
about
30
the
minutes
seventh
behind us
hymen?
at least.
we all know women can't be quiet for 30 minutes.
What was about the seventh hymen? Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me get my camera
That's
back.
no, the seventh hymen. That's Norse mythology. Thor. We're talking Christian theology.
I know.
Seven seals.
When are we going to get into the real meat of Odinism, man?
When you start teaching it,
Hey, he's got me converted almost. This
well,
close.
I mean, you look it, so you know.
Well, I mean, I'm just teasing, but I mean, let's look at the parallels, though. I mean, religion is amazing. The parallels, you know, you got God, you know, you got Jehovah here, you got Yeshua, Jesus. I mean, over here you got Odin, and then you got Thor, right? You got the Father and the Son. Those parallels are amazing.
Loki
Over
and
here
Satan.
on the Christian side, right? On the Christian side, you got,
Hell and hell.
Loki, and then you got Satan, right? And then here on the Christian side, you've got, you know, Jesus here, and his dad says, okay, I want you to go out and be the sacrificial lamb, get your ass kicked and get beat to shit and tortured to death. And then over here on the Odin side, you know, you've got Odin handing this hammer to his son Thor and says, "Take this hammer and beat the shit out of the bad guys." Sounds perfectly parallel to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's very, very almost exactly the same.
because it's like, you know what? It's like, you know, Jesus, you know, you do the distraction, and then Thor will come over there and just like smash everybody's head. It's like a tag team.
Exactly. Hey,
Yeah.
that's the new Avengers, Thor and Jesus.
There
Hey,
you go.
Nuke showed up. Look,
Nuke
Nuke's
is in
here.
the thing. I'm adding to the stage right now. Wait for him to come in.
Oh,
Welcome aboard,
hey!
dude.
Look at that,
Look
showing up late. Hey, look, hey guys, I was just on Rule Zero.
Oh, he got that
Everybody's
Rule
here
Zero
now, like, I
tardiness
show up
to
when I
him.
want.
We need to
Oh,
put
I'm
it front
so
and center.
fashionably late. I'm a celeb now. I'm on Rule Zero.
Oh,
You know,
God.
I'm the big dick on campus.
I got my one.
I was
hat.
just talking with Rollo Tomasi. Maybe you've heard of him.
You've heard of him?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Hey,
You
the
know-
only downside, Nuke, is you're now on a list for sure.
Oh yeah, well, this is exactly how I talked when I first was on the dragon ship. So you know, I told him,
Congratulations,
I'm on the
son.
dragon ship. Oh, thanks, Thor.
yeah.
You're a true
congratulations, bro.
Drakkar now. I mean, won't be long, and we'll just basically all be Rule Zero panel members on the Dragon Ship.
Yeah,
It'll just be,
Takeover
it'll
is
just be-
nearly complete.
yeah,
well,
nice
you're
seeing
gonna have to
everyone.
Change the name from the Dragon Ship to like Rule Zero After Hours.
Yeah.
But the dragon ship
And then
sounds
we'll
so cool, though.
And then we'll have to start giving each
Because it
other
is.
fucking white claws and throwing each other off the panel.
I don't know. Drakkar sounds so much better than panel member.
Yeah, Jakar sounds cool. But yeah, I was just talking with Jack after the show. We were just catching up on some things and all that stuff. So yeah, I didn't know. I thought today was like more of a AJ kind of like talking about something.
He's
with
trying, but we keep hijacking.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Running our
It's better
mouths.
for me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the damn time. So keep it
No.
up.
See, that's the trick to hosting, AJ. What you do
Hmm.
is you don't say shit. You just say, "So this is a concept, Glenn. What do you think about that?"
Yeah.
Fucking, it's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Especially
That's
this
compelling.
topic.
Let's
The whole
move on.
topics, I mean, like, there's like a handful of topics I could, you know, converse on pretty good at, and this is like the top 5. So, you know,
Yeah, Glenn's done specials on these, but yeah, let's we'll just pass it back to AJ and we'll continue on. Thanks, Nuke, for jumping in.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Nuke. Whoop, crap. Swapped
That was
around.
me. That was
That
me.
was me.
You're a
We're-
button
well,
pusher too.
I'm not touching. I moved my mouth away.
No, it's all on AJ.
Should I bring in the video of Mr. Majors running from his girlfriend?
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
let's do that.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet, but it should be entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's,
that guy, like, you know, he ran like Forrest, like he was running. Like,
dude,
people,
yeah.
like I made a funny video of it, of him running, and I just like looped it over and over again, and you just see him like running through town.
Yeah, here let's see here. Go to present, right? Yeah. Share screen.
It was just crazy, like, you know. But the sad thing is, in all reality, is like for
right,
guys,
here, I'm gonna go
that's
share.
what you got to do if you want to try to, you know, get away or try to keep yourself, you know, from getting in trouble.
So I'm gonna blow this up, and here we go.
When Johnathan Majors' ex-girlfriend wouldn't let go of his arm and chased him down like it was the 1850s, because she refused to respect his right not to engage in conflict. When Johnathan Majors' ex-girlfriend wouldn't let go of his arm and chased him down like it was the 1850s, because she refused to respect his right not to engage in conflict. When Johnathan Majors...
All right. Stop.
What was going on in the 1850s? What was going on in the 1850s? Is it like oh, you're talking about like the slaves running away?
Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
white, right?
My grandparents,
Oh,
my great grandparents were probably enslaved or something.
I was gonna say, like, Nuke, do you want to talk about that? You got any history on that?
Oh, did you guys see the picture I posted of my great grandfather? He looks like
I
the
did.
Austrian painter. Yeah, and that's like, hey, like, you know, like Latinos were like 50% European and 50% slave and Indian, right? Like it's, but yeah, my great grandfather probably would have been running like just like that too from the plantation owners, just like Johnathan Majors. So
Yeah.
blood memory unlocked. Blood memory unlocked.
But yeah, what's weird is like they had that video, they had the audio recording of him talking with his girlfriend about how she came home drunk one time and he's very disappointed with her and he's setting his boundaries and expectations with her. But yet they still found him guilty somehow, which just makes no freaking sense at all.
Well, like I understand, like, so when I watched it and I was listening to everything, the reason why they found him guilty because he denied doing anything. You know, so
Right. Yep. That was
if
the
he would have
problem.
said, if he would have said, yes, I was trying to get away from her and I pushed her away, or I tried to get my property back from her that she took without, you know, permission, right? And in the process that happened, then he would have gotten off. But the fact is that he stuck to the story of, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do any of that. There's, you know, like he denied all of it. So they had to convict him on it because there was evidence that he actually did do something. He had to get his phone. He did touch her. He did have some physical contact with her. And his you know, like when he went into, you know, he was not guilty and he didn't do anything. And from that, the jury didn't have any other choice but to convict him because there was evidence that he did something. So that's why he got and it was like as a very low conviction at that.
Yeah.
It was like a misdemeanor.
And
So he's not going to be on any kind of registered list or anything. So just a misdemeanor.
No, but
Yeah.
it destroys his name, and you know it's enough to like anytime
dropped
like,
him.
his
They
name
dropped
is
him.
pulled up,
yeah, he was gonna be Kang in Disney's MCU, which is like #2 villain of all time in the comic books next to Thanos. So
And AJ, I'm noticing something, or actually, I'm noticing something not happening. Where are all the black people shouting racism?
Ooh, that you know what?
that's a whole other story right
That's
there.
a whole nother man. I didn't even think about that because
I don't think a single like Al Sharpton, Jesse
Oh,
Jackson.
no.
I don't
And
think
I
anyone's...
noticed a lot with this when I was like watching the Twitter feeds and everything. A lot of African American women were like, "Well, that's what you get for dating a white chick."
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
no, they black chicks don't like black guys dating white chicks. They just don't.
No, they don't.
Yeah, get
Like, Nuke,
Donovan
look at-
on here
look at
sometime.
all the
He'll
time,
tell you
don't you,
all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nuke, you get it all the time, don't you?
Well, I usually date brown women, you know, but yes.
That
Well,
Affogato
the thing
girl
is-
looked pretty white chocolate.
Yeah, but I think the thing is here is that is strange that the black community didn't come together and kind of like at least, you know, make a little bit of a ruckus, a little noise online or something, or podcast, like maybe the big, like the whatever. What's the one with the hip hop one, the really famous one?
Oh, like No Jumper?
The one with Charlemagne, I think he's on it.
Oh, well, he has like 3 of them, but like
Yeah.
you got like you be like the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Breakfast Club. There you go. Why aren't they? And you know, it's like it. And I think it's because they're waiting for more details to come out, even though it's already like the case it's closed, right? Like
The case is over.
Yeah,
Like
he might appeal it, which
Yeah,
his lawyers
should.
are probably gonna go with that. But his
I
career with
think
Disney's
he's-
over.
at this point, like, what is he appealing? Because he's not going to face any penalty, right? If anything,
Mhm.
he's just trying to clear his name. And I understand that because that's what Johnny Depp did. I went through a whole case to clear my name, and you know, like I understand the whole point of clearing your name, but I'm looking at it from his point of view, like there's no consequence. You know, like Disney's not going to pick you back up, right? Like, you know, like the opportunity, the job opportunity you may have had, it's gone. It's already done, and it's not. They're not going to give it back to you. Disney didn't even offer Johnny Depp anything back after he got cleared for his
Yeah.
case. So you're not going to gain anything back. You're just going to waste more money for a misdemeanor that doesn't even matter. But it just matters because of the job and the position that you're in the spotlight publicly.
Mhm.
They say if you want
Yeah.
in with the latest news with Henry Cavill and Amazon, they're gonna if they do a Horus Heresy, they're gonna need a Vulcan, and he'd be the perfect guy to play Vulcan for $40K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Do we think that the black community would have come out and cried racism if this was any other conviction than man on woman violence? Like if he was convicted of murder with little evidence, or convicted of beating up a white guy with little evidence, do we think that's when they probably would have said something? Are they always going to side on the side of a woman, even if it's not a black woman?
Well,
Well,
look
see,
at that case of the OnlyFans chick down in Florida that murdered her African American boyfriend.
Mhm.
He pretty much like everyone was actually defending her, and they didn't care about him.
No shit.
Yeah, what is really interesting about this, like, since there was no like cry for support for him or demanding justice, you know, because you got to remember historically, like black guys were hung
Mhm.
when white girls would even just lie about having sex with the black guy.
Yeah, there's a whole movie about that with
there's
Martin
a whole
Lawrence.
that's
And,
that's like historically. I mean, that's part of the whole Jim Crow thing.
Well, the
Right?
Kill Mockingbird, that whole entire book is about
so
it.
like this is something that has historically happened where white women have lied on black guys like this, and black guys' lives have been lost, and the whole lives have been destroyed.
That's true.
So for them not to have this like uproar about this, it does kind of speak something to like the like what's going on in that community. And although it's known that the black community is very well ran by feminists, it's just black feminists. It's not the white feminists that we see on TV. It's they have a whole different group of feminism over there that is really like it's like a monarchy.
Yeah, King Dre breaks it down very well when I was doing some Masculine Empowerment Network courses and like he was hosting. King Dre, like it's like whatever we did back in the 70s is what you're seeing now in the white community.
Yeah,
what we're doing in the 80s, you see 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Rolo was talking about that too when I think he talked to him and he said like, yeah, the black community is what the white community will be in 10 years.
Yeah. At least 10 years, maybe not 20 at most.
Well, here's another example. I mean, maybe it's not racial. Maybe look at Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, where every day there's more and more evidence and more that hey, it was just self-defense or whatever thing that kind of would clear Tory Lanez's name or make the case harder for him to go to jail. But like no one's like really talking about it. Like the people that have the biggest voices in the black community are just like, I guess the laws. Yeah, you shouldn't have been there. So
I think the Tory Lanez situation is a little different though. Like, there's enough history that dude got like he got away with a lot of dirt.
Okay. So he did. He had. Yeah, I gotcha.
Like he had enough against him, anyways. Like where they're like, we're gonna get him for something, right? Like so, it's either this or something else. He's gonna eventually get popped, right? So
okay,
I think that's where like the lack of support kind of came in there for that situation. But you look at like scenarios with Vin Diesel. I mean, although he's not black, right? But everybody thinks he's black, and he has a great presence in that community. He's recently been accused.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's going through it. And what we have noticed, and it's like, it doesn't matter what they say or what they allege you did, you're automatically guilty. And no matter what, it's like everybody's new course of action now is to remove any like affiliation with you. So if you are a public figure, you better hold on tight because they're going to not only taint your name and destroy your name, but even once you're found not in it or guilty, when you're found innocent of this, before they used to help restore you, they would clear your name. Just as much as they were publicly trashing you, they would publicly clear your name and let it be known. Right now, they don't say anything.
Look at Deshaun Watson. The guy had to sit out an NFL season, and they haven't proved any of those allegations to be true.
Yep.
And that baseball player, right, too.
Yeah, you're talking about Trevor Bauer, I
think.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Trevor
Bauer?
From
the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's Paul's cousin.
Yeah. He's even got screenshots of the girl texting with her friend how she's going to fleece him.
What the problem is, and the reason why nobody's going to do anything about it, because guys don't want to do anything about it. I've noticed like we hate it when it happens to us, but we never go out of our way to the point where like we want to change anything. And that tends to be the problem with like a lot of the things that we have here going on in our society is that we don't care enough to do anything to actually put things in the world. We want things to be different, but there's not enough action behind it. We want family court laws in place. Why don't we do something about it? Why don't we, like, when women do something, they all collectively go down there, they take off their shirts and they're showing off their titties and they're marching with their pink hats, and they're saying like, love women, whatever, right? Guys, we don't have time to do that. We're like, no, we got to work. We can't.
There's also
shout out to chat right now, Mr. Wong, Jack Napier. If you want to come on, Jack, I'll have Nuke drop you an invite. No worries. Definitely that, guys. Thank you. We'll just go ahead and do a quick super real quick while I interrupted everything. Siege D, not sure where it went, but he went to go to your favorite guy and drop the super is important. Howdy, I hit a bump in the road. Well, actually, some guy T-boned and injured my arm at an intersection. Sorry to hear that, brother. My ma and bro are helping me heal. I'll be reading Thor and Paul's book in the meantime. Thanks. I got to throw another one out there. Thank you for your support.
By the way, both
right here.
both
Right here.
Be sure to give those both reviews on Amazon, guys. That really helps out.
5-star reviews and some comments really help us, guys. We really appreciate that. Both books are doing well and available in audio with a dreamy.
Jack, I'm gonna drop you the link.
I just finished Paul's book, and it's actually very good. And I just started Cappy's latest book, which I'm enjoying chapter 1 so far.
Oh, it looks like Jack's gonna come on. I'm just gonna drop.
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna
in.
give him the link right now.
You want to? I can just drop it in the chat if you want.
Well, I got it. I was already doing it right now on Telegram.
Okay.
Let's hear about Europe and how they do it over there with these false accusations.
Oh boy.
Oh no, they got it bad too. You know, like for a while, they were actually if a girl would accuse a guy for false accusations, like this is like in the earlier 2000s. If a girl would accuse a guy of false rape, the country or the state or whatever would actually pay her like a wage, like not a wage, but like a settlement fee, right? And these girls were just starting accusing guys left and right because over there you didn't need to find them guilty. You just needed to make the accusation. This is in the rise of Me Too. This is when Me Too was at its peak.
Shit.
So, and I interviewed a guy from the UK who actually was part of the men's right conference or whatever they do. You know, they have like their separate, different like political groups.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have a men's right one or men's rights, and he said that guys were getting accused falsely. And what would happen is these girls were getting money from this because the country is like, okay, you're injured. You have like this, here's a settlement, you know, whatever the case is, just kind of like while you're going through your trial, here's some money so you can live off of, you know, like for a victim's, you know, injuries or whatever.
Does it work if you accuse a bunch of Catholic priests? I mean, I could.
Well, no, here's the thing. Over there, you can never accuse a woman of rape, okay? Because their law says that it has to be only rape is defined by sex with a penis, right? So it has to be penetration with the penis. So a woman can never rape a guy over there.
I'll just accuse a bunch of guys of gay rape.
Well, so that's what ended up happening. Guys started picking up on what the girls were doing, right? And then guys started accusing other guys of this, right?
I don't know if the article changed or not, but I think it was like Article 122 of the UCMJ was the grape article, and it was like penetration, however so slight, was the determination of rape.
Yep. And
hey, welcome, Jack. We appreciate you coming in here, man. I take back all the bad stuff I said about you earlier.
What's bad about it? I mean, I have the best hair in that whole panel. Let's be honest here. Of course, guys are jealous.
It's pretty fucking majestic. It really.
I mean, you know, especially when it blows in the wind, like it gets.
Oh man, look, this isn't even all of it. Look, like there's way more.
When Jack does this kind of shit, it's in slow mo.
Yeah, yeah. No, Rolo ain't got shit on me. Seriously.
Start calling Jack Fabio.
Well, thanks for coming on board, man. I caught one of your lift videos a couple of weeks back. Good job, man.
No, doing my best. Not as much as I used to. It's like I have the body I want. It's like I like the heroin addicted rock star look without the heroin. So I just go for that, a bit more muscular. Like I don't want to be yoked, things like that. I did amateur powerlifting and it just takes so much work.
Right.
And then at a certain point I was like, I just want to be fit and I'm happy with it. I am fine with it.
I'm kind of there too, you know. I'm down.
You're yoked.
Now that I'm 61, I need to drop a little muscle mass. Can't be a mass monster anymore.
Actually, guys, I got to interrupt real quick. I'm sorry, Jack. I respectfully disagree. So this is a picture of me when I had long hair. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go.
Boy.
There we go.
All right. Are we having a hair off? Are we? I lose.
Okay, Paul, don't even start. Don't start.
Are you
AJ
able to
and I, we're tapping out on the.
I mean, I got the beard though.
Paul, you
Nice.
haven't
Pretty
had
epic
hair
beard.
since '95. Okay.
Oh my
Dude,
God! Look at that.
Okay, now we actually have a girl on Dragon Ship.
nice.
That is glorious. Look at that.
That is a good
pretty
head
glorious.
of hair.
Yeah.
That is a
Hey,
good
hey
hair,
Mike,
head of
you,
hair.
you got a pretty
We
mouth.
just need a
boy.
fan. We just need
Wow.
a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
Dragon
was
ship,
nice.
everyone.
That's what
Dragon
that's what
ship.
German water will do for your hair.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Interesting.
But is it as filtered as Dutch water? It's like, let's be honest. Here.
Uh-huh.
Let's be honest.
Just a little extra fluoride in that German water.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to use this opportunity to challenge Rollo Tomasi to take his beanie off, and we will decide who has the best hair of Rule Zero.
I played the
That's
fifth.
so stupid, but it's funny.
I'm going to claim the best non-skunk beard.
There you go.
It reminds me of Zoolander, right? When they have the walk off. All right, guys, it's a walk off.
Yeah.
It's a fucking hair off, guys. Let's.
Blue steel, man. Blue
A
steel.
blue steel.
But say whatever you want. He's got good hair for, I mean, he doesn't like to be Colo, but for his age, he's got good hair.
Yeah.
Like, be happy with it when you got it. No offense to the balding gentleman on this panel. I mean, you rock the look. So
That's the
Thank you.
solution, right? If you lose your hair, grow the beard.
Man, like
Yeah,
I've been
and
shaving,
grow the
I've been
hair,
shaving my hair since I was
shave your
28,
head.
and I'm 30
Yeah,
Well, I
and-
now.
think the solution is like just grow the beard. Period.
I can't grow a
That's
beard.
always the
So-
answer. Always.
And for the gentleman who I have never met on this panel, absolute pleasure to meet you. I'm Jack. Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Jack.
Jack. I've been
We
interacting with
interact
you a
on
couple times on Twitter.
sometimes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate
You know,
it.
like-
We feel like we're the, kind of the second string Rule Zero here. We like to bring guys on that
Kitty
wanna-
table.
we're
their
the
toes in the water.
NXT to Rule Zero's Monday Night Raw.
There you go.
Here's the thought process like I've been having that I think that the red pill doesn't factor in. And I think we need to start thinking about this moving forward when we're talking to guys, because we're going to start seeing a rise in these accusations. Okay, and they already have been increasing over time. It used to be something that was like considered uncommon occurrence, but I got statistics that say that at possibly up to 50% of false or accusations made are false.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is recent from I think 2020. This
The
guy
only
wrote
thing
a
I could
book.
find was like 2020 was saying 10% was the max I could find. But if you
No,
could pull
so-
up that 50%, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I have screenshots of it. I'm trying to pull up the book right now so I could just do it on Amazon. But this guy wrote a book. His name is Eric Nelson. He's a doctor. And he's a doctorate in criminal science, right? And he has done a lot of these investigations, and he's covered a lot of this stuff. And there's this other guy. His name was I forgot what his name was, but he was an OSI in the Air Force, right? And he was tasked to accumulate all the grape cases from 1965 all the way until 1995, and categorize them, and see if he could find any common occurrences or something that he could use to teach the OSI officers how to investigate these crimes. Well, he got all the information from all the Air Force bases around the world, and what he found out is that 20% of these cases, the guy was beyond reasonable doubt guilty. The guy did it. There's no denying it. He was guilty. 30 to 40%, it was kind of you just didn't know. It could have gone either way. There was no automatic guilt, but there's also no automatic innocence either. What they found was that out of all the cases, 40 to 50% of these cases, they were either the girl ended up lying on stand and she was exposed for making a false claim, or she admitted that during the investigation that she was lying and the case dropped. So what we could say is that somewhere anywhere between 40 to 50% might be the good range, especially now in this era and this Me Too, post Me Too, and believe all women thing that we're living in. I don't think that the actual, false accusation cases are really 10%. I think they're way higher. Now they may not be 50%, but maybe let's just say 35 to 40, maybe. But that's still way too high, and it's way too much of a number for any guy to feel comfortable with.
I think
And-
it's higher because of the social media clout
Also-
women get.
Yeah, exactly. There's that, and also a lot of women don't want to report this stuff. Like a lot of women are like, "Hey, yeah, this guy touched me inappropriately, and I kind of like him, but I just felt uncomfortable when he did it. But I kind of like him. Like I've seen this in the military, and then
Yep.
Women are kind of like very they like to talk, right? So it gets out, and then somebody, a higher ranking female or guy, finds out and goes to her and be like, "You better report this, or I'll report you."
No, or
And
the
it's
guy
just like-
reports it for her. That's what happened in my case.
or the guy reports himself because he's scared. Yeah, because he's scared. Like I better do the right thing. So
Well, he was just trying to be a Captain
that's what
Save-A-Ho.
happens.
Some guys are just trying to be
Yeah.
white knights and look good, and they don't
Yeah,
care. It's
so-
it's not them going on trial.
Mhm.
So, Paul, you just brought this one up. The chat brought it in. You got some information on this? This was posted 4 hours ago.
Yeah. My 3% brother Jose in the chat there's asked about that, and I was like, I hadn't even heard it, but I did know this. I did know the story about Kylie Ray. So AEW started as an alternative to WWE several years ago. I think 2019 or something like that. They launched, and Kylie Ray was a female wrestler, and she was one of the first women in AEW to show up. And she showed up, did a couple of shows, and it was like just a couple of months in, she asked for her release, and everyone's like, "What's going on with that?" And all she said was like she cited some kind of depression or something like that. Well, this is surfacing. It's not even her that brought it up. Like someone else brought it up. If you read this article. On some podcast saying that the reason why she left was allegedly because Chris Jericho invited her to a meeting in his private dressing room, and there were supposed to be other people there. And when she showed up, he was the only one there, and he made a pass at her allegedly. And I guess that allegedly freaked her out, and that's why she asked for her release. And apparently now other people are piling in on Chris Jericho for doing the same thing, and they're comparing him to Harvey Weinstein. And it's just one of those things where it's all accusations. Allegedly, he had people sign NDAs, and either he did or AEW had these women sign NDAs, which is also a similar thing to what happened to Vince McMahon. Just like a couple of years ago.
It did, didn't it?
There was a scandal where he was, sexually, soliciting women that worked for WWE, and then would have them sign NDAs, and then they would pay him big sums of money and to, hey, be quiet about this. And no one ever talked about it, but it came up in some kind of internal investigation or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't there.
They didn't. Isn't like Ric Flair under some heat for his comments that he made at that one WWE show a couple months ago?
Who said what?
When Ric Flair was like, "Hey, bring all these single girls. Here's my hotel room and all that stuff." I wonder.
That's absurd though. That's absurd because Ric Flair has been saying that shit since the 70s. That's like his bit. He comes up in live audiences, says, "Hey, ladies, I'm over at the Hilton. No boyfriends, no STDs, and whatever. Like
no fat chicks."
But I've also noticed
we'll see you guys after the show. And apparently that was found offensive. He also said 18 to 24-year-olds is what he said, right?
And not fat either, right?
Yeah, well, of course not. I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah.
Nobody would.
So the only reason why he got in trouble is because he had such a unrealistic expectation.
Right.
Because
he's an old guy asking for 18 to 24-year-olds, and that's apparently a bad thing.
Illegal move.
The thing is, he was expecting them not to be fat. That was what got him.
That's what got him. Yeah. That reminds me. So I did a stream on Wednesday. I did a stream on Wednesday for older guys, right? Older guys still like to bang. And one of the things I said in that was you know, if you can pull a chick in her early 20s, fucking do it. Like, fuck society, you know, that people are just jealous. Well, I clipped that, put that out on YouTube, and people are losing their mind right now in the shorts. From
Really?
that. It's they're calling me like a predator and all this stuff, and I'm just like, this is exactly what I was expecting from that clip. So thank you.
So a 24-year-old can't consent? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah,
There's
they have no
autonomy?
agency. They have no agency. They can't make their own minds up. They're not real.
Well, then they shouldn't be
they're not
voting.
adults, apparently. You know.
Well, no, you can see that. You can see that in the narrative today that's being pushed, because the passport bro thing, when viewed from the perspective of media here, is that those adult grown women in foreign countries have no real agency of self-control. Therefore, we go over and oppress them, you know, with extra money, love, gifts, marriage, children, all the things that they wanted somehow is oppressing, because that's really not how it should be done. You can see that all over the place. And interestingly enough, when I was working as a trainer years ago, I kind of saw the tip of that iceberg, where there were several single guys, maybe in their 40s and 50s, and each one had been divorced and accused of DV during that divorce. Accused of DV. And that's pretty harsh. And one of the things, if you're accused of DV and you end up with a restraining order, guys, just one tip, always refer it to criminal court, because then they have to produce evidence. Otherwise, you're going to get that thing stamped on your forehead forever. You realize they're two separate courts, and now family court has authority. If somebody makes an accusation with a restraining order against you for DV, you immediately have the district attorney get after it. Most of them will be dropped immediately. So, you know, they know what's up. You don't, and your ignorance isn't going to protect you.
It's like with my charge.
So, I mean, I think back of how many guys actually have had accusations, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. It's pretty stunning, because there are cash and prizes to be had, and fame. And then there is recognition, there's adoration, there's the victim getting attention. And it's just like those guys.
You can build a brand. You can build a brand on your victim.
They were the first ones I ever heard of that actually did take their vacation time and spend it overseas. They were so bitter with women, and there was no passport movement there. And I'd listened to them, and I actually thought for a minute, it's like, how crazy you're going to run over there into another country. But then it started to dawn on me. These guys were telling me how they were treated, and I kind of didn't believe it, because, you know, for me, I had a relationship, everything was good. It was always like that. But now to look at it from the other perspective, it's pretty amazing to see why guys are fleeing when they're up against things like false accusations and the widespread weaponization of family courts and the cash and prizes and accolades to be had if you make a DV. It's almost like you can't be a modern American woman unless you can boast that domestic violence has been foisted against you, even if it was psychological in nature. And that's another big thing that corporations are pushing out there right now, is psychological safety.
Yeah.
Even in the corporations I've worked in, unwelcome behavior can be anything. As long as they say it's unwelcome, initiate an investigation, spend money, find a problem.
Like even in my current employer, like I'm having to do every quarter psychological safety surveys, stuff like that. And then I was gonna say, with the military, with my one DV charge dropped and everything, the command actually had to give me a restraining order, not the civilian court that was arresting me and everything. The command has to give a restraining order.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about this is that you know, like it starts with, you know, if you really want to know, it starts with the Duluth model of feminism, like for policing.
Yes.
And, you know, that really changed the game here. And that literally just like made it to where, like, when it comes to policing, they're already like conditioned to assume that the guy's wrong. And it's not because like they see evidence of it. It's the fact that like that is what they teach them in the academy. Right. You know, they literally tell them like, look, hey, guess what? You know what? Most likely he's the one that did it. And their statistics are ridiculous. It's like, you know, 4,000 times more likely, according to them, that guys do it. But when you look at the real statistics, women commit more domestic violence than men do. That's reality.
That's true. Yeah.
Lesbian couples have the highest domestic violence, period. You know, so
it's because of lesbian bed death.
I guess. I don't know.
And don't they also have the highest divorce rate too?
That?
I just figure like
Yeah.
they just like thinking they don't need dick, but really in their life they need dick, and they're just acting out, you know.
Well, there's science behind that.
You know, so but
They have a dick deficiency.
yeah, they need that vitamin D.
That's what they call it, a vitamin D deficiency. It's very common.
And cancel.
We got,
Oh,
Huds, what do you got on
here,
the
let
sides?
me-
We haven't heard from you in a while.
Thor, I'm
Yeah,
gonna show the screen here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
this is a
just
great
want
story.
to say I've just been like listening, with this whole conversation. We've all kind of said what we we all kind of agree on it. It really is wild. Like, so I was accused myself, and I had to deal with that. This was years ago, maybe 6 years ago or something. And what's crazy is that from that, even though everything was found false, I still had to settle for like misdemeanor charges. And during that time, because I had to pay for the lawyer, so I had to move home with my parents. I was then unable to move in somewhere else, and I actually was getting rejected from every apartment just because it existed on my record, even though it was false. So it's really crazy how we punish these guys. And kind of what we were talking about with Johnathan Majors, like, yeah, like even if he appeals or whatever else, like he's done. And I just don't understand. I don't know what we're supposed to do to like help solve these problems, or
Well,
if we're supposed to give forgiveness at some point, right?
Well, I think the best way to do this is like we have to like I've been telling guys like not every girl's worthy of your dick. Right? So like just because she wants to bang you and she's willing to bang you doesn't necessarily mean you should actually bang her. Because these girls are becoming more predators than victims, right? And if you're a guy that has something to lose, right? You're gonna if you're working on your status and you're working on leveling up and you're becoming that high value guy, hey, you got something to lose, right? So I know that the red pill talks about like, getting your notch count up and spinning plates and game and stuff, but like we need to start actively talking about being very diligent and understanding how aftercare works. I don't think a lot of guys know how to implement good aftercare.
Oh, yeah.
Thor, Oh
yeah.
I think that will solve like a good portion of the problem is if they give good aftercare, then they won't make the girl feel like she's a dirty whore and that she is, and want to make a false accusation.
Sometimes they like feeling that way, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. But it's like
Nuke knows that.
I think there's like parts of it where like we need to start telling guys like, hey, yeah, get laid if that's what you want, but also be more selective in who you actually sleep with.
I think so. I did a whole stream on this because there are a lot of guys that are overly scared of this sort of thing, and some, rightfully so. Like they've had a bad experience with it, but oftentimes women just want guys to just get it right. This also includes their body language when they're not interested, and there's a lot of girls that will give in to a guy just because she's like, the guy's so pushy and she's just like, I don't have any other choice here, and I just need to get out of this situation, let him have what he wants. And then they file later and stuff. Right. Like, the guy's like, I thought she wanted it, So I think it's very important for guys to understand women's body language. Like Glenn said very well too, properly vet these women, get a good understanding of who they are. There's a lot of guys that are trying to push for first night bangs and stuff like that. You could do that, but it also does kind of help to, at least test for chemistry on a first date and then push for a
you guys realize we're all falling into the
third,
same trap, right? You guys realize we're falling into the trap.
Yeah. And so
we had an episode on this a year ago. 4.7% of the guys we're talking about. 4.7. The rest of them were already doing the right things.
Yeah. But still, just to wrap up here. It also helps for guys to understand concepts like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? Sometimes women just
don't hit on coworkers. Don't hit on coworkers too. That's a big one because that's most of this stuff happens with coworkers.
Yes.
And also another thing. Sorry to cut you off, Paul. But another thing. Parties, house parties, where everyone's drunk and everyone's memory is hazy. Stay the fuck away from those.
If a girl's like overly intoxicated, just don't do it. Just
stay away from drunk girls. Just stay away from drunk women. I mean, unless you're gonna have some cameras set up in your place, like I recommend, you know, and you let them know that you have cameras in there, so you're not like recording
Or
some
live in
dirty porn for
Nevada.
you to watch later. But you know, let them
I
know.
mean,
like,
you could
hey,
also do that.
you know, I'd say, hey, I got cameras up just so you know, and it's for your safety and mine. Just so like let them have it, let them understand that, because the last thing you want to do is bring a girl over, you have a great night, you think it's a great time, and then she ends up, you know, making an accusation or implying something to happen. And I'm right, Thor's right. The actual amount of guys that it's going to happen to is at 4.6%. But I never thought of myself as being one of those guys that would be, you know, of value enough to want to be, you know, ruin my life.
Yeah,
And
and your situation is pretty messed up because she wanted it, and
Yeah.
the only reason why she accused you was because she was going to get in trouble with her boyfriend.
Well, because her boyfriend's friend saw me
Yeah.
leaving her dorm room.
Yeah, and Captain Savaho there was like, oh, I gotta protect her from this guy. And yeah,
And then what ends up finding out, the same guy
Right.
that like turns me in ends up being my star witness, because he ended up seeing her do the same damn thing again, and this
Yeah.
time actually riding the dude's dick. So it's like,
So
you know,
could this be
but
actually a good
just to
case?
finish up what I was saying though, like the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? If you go to escalate and a chick's not having it, like you pull back a little bit, you don't be a dick about it. You just continue the conversation. Try again later. If she is continually not interested, don't fucking push it too hard, man, because you are going to get a charge on you, man. So just like have some social awareness and have some understanding of body language, and you'll probably be okay. You'll probably be okay.
and it's like, we don't want guys to feel like they shouldn't be out there and not aggressively be pursuing. I'm not saying like aggressive, but, you know, out there initiating, taking action, you know, taking those first steps, you know, to engage in the conversation, or to you know, to meet women, or to, you know, to see if there's interest. No, we're not saying that at all. But what I'm getting at is like, if there's no like reciprocation from her at all, if she is not, you know, letting you know very obviously that she wants the D from you right now, like, just push back, make sure that she's actually engaging and want to chase a little too, because you just don't. What a lot of guys come to find out is like they didn't realize that this was going on, or that she didn't want it, because although she was kissing, she was doing all the touching and grinding and lovey-dovey, whatever, but you know, she may have said something like, you know, not right now, or, you know, let's do it later, or something along those lines, right? And guys just move past that. They didn't pick that up as like that's a point for a pause, you know, because she didn't say no, and you know, like, but she didn't want to say no because she was in fear, or she didn't want to upset him, you know, so she tried to indirectly communicate that she wasn't interested at that time, and the guy didn't pick up those signals, and it's like,
Yeah,
when you pick up on
women
their
speak in
signals-
subtext. Women speak in subtext. Guys
Yep.
don't speak that way, and so that's where a lot of the guys get in trouble, because they're just not speaking the same language, and it behooves you as a man to learn the language of women.
Yeah, you need to learn how to escalate too. Like a lot of guys, you need to understand what zones of a woman's body you don't touch first. You know, like you don't touch a girl's leg first.
You don't grab them by the pussy first.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
That's like
I do
step
it all the
5.
time.
You know, like come on.
It's fine. They let you do it.
but I'm gonna throw up a slide real quick, guys. AJ, this is from the book. I just, you know, screenshot it and put it up there. So here you go.
All right.
Dr. McDowell was a special agent and later the supervisor criminal investigator for the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. One of his projects was a careful study of every grape ever reported in the Air Force worldwide, and encompassing all the US Air Force bases for a 25-year period from 1965 to 1990. These several hundred cases were sorted out into 3 categories. So you see, he broke it down by the way that he broke it down. And what ended up happening is he came up with this 16-point rule, like 16-point sheet, that let's say a woman came in and made an accusation. You ask her these questions like in a systematic way, and you'll have a good reference whether or not this girl's lying, if it actually happened, or if there's not enough there, but like to admit guilt, or like she's actually being honest. and you have to ask him furthermore questions, right? And he has the initial one is like a 16-point questionnaire, and then the later one was like a 26-point, right? And it worked. It actually is legit. He actually took it and was implementing it into the FBI. The FBI was having him do a training on it. A congresswoman and a lawyer, female lawyer, sat in on that, and they actually shut the whole program down.
Damn.
Shut it down. Now you remember in like the 2000s when they had the grape culture on college campuses.
The mattress, the girl with the mattress.
Yep. So the guy that wrote the book, Dr. Nelson, took this model and implemented it and just tried it as a field test because he was one of the people investigating this, and that's how he found out that the test was legit, because he ended up seeing like all these cases were not true, and they ended up finding out they were not true through other means of investigation. So it's like it's a mess, but they don't want to fix anything.
And now before people run Glenn through the grinder for bring up the Air Force statistics, the U.S. military is a good macroscopic cross-section of the United States society as a whole. So if the statistics are there in the military, it's there nationwide.
Yeah. Although it's better in the Air Force because we got air conditioning.
Hey, we had R114s on the subs.
Yeah. Stationary bikes for PT. Yeah.
But like when we think about it, like, so one, guys we don't care enough because we don't ever think it's going to be us. Mm-hmm. So we just think we're never going to be in that situation. So we don't ever prepare for it.
Fair enough.
Two, we don't sub-communications. A lot of guys have a hard time communicating with the woman, just speaking words. Like how many times the guy said like she's sending me mixed messages, Mm-hmm. So we don't even know how to communicate with them half the time anywa's. On a normal,
it's always actions over words with women.
Yeah.
The
medium is the message.
Yep. But so for the average guy that doesn't know this stuff, like what about medium the message, or how to pick up sub communications?
There's a book on that.
There is a book. There's several books.
I will tell you that being attractive and charming, it sounds kind of but will protect you in a lot of cases. Being able to navigate situations, and that's your number one protection. There's several gentlemen on this panel have written a book on how to be more attractive, charming, and that will save your life more times than not.
It really will.
Actually,
you might.
I would say
you might be in a situation. Yeah, go ahead, Glenn. Sorry.
I would say Thor's book is probably the best for this situation, because if you have the confidence and you have that presence, that commanding presence, right? And if you approach it the way like Thor does, Thor's never aggressive. He doesn't push anything on anybody, right? If you ever see him talk to girls, this dude is like the smoothest dude in the world.
He gets buy-in. He gets them to buy in.
I'm sitting there at restaurants with him, and like the waitress is like, just wooing after him. I'm like,
that reminds me.
Can we get a free prize then? Can we get some free prize?
Have
you guys ever seen the meme where it's like an attractive guy walks up to a chick and says, "Hey, nice tits," and she's like, "Oh, thank you."
I was trying to find that one.
Yeah, and then some like ugly guy walks up and goes, "Nice tits," and she's like,
HR.
Hello, HR. Yeah,
he didn't say nice tits. He said, "Hi, Glenda."
Right? If you can be an attractive person and have a dominant masculine presence like our man Thor here, you can get away with a lot of shit because women have that buy-in emotionally.
Yeah.
They're emotionally bought into your what you're selling, and that's really the difference.
And also treat all women nice.
Couple really good ways to protect yourself. And one, the number one thing, Nuke puts it up there, and he understands. All you guys do is don't dip your pen in company. That's the biggest one that'll give you the most protection. Just straight up, because there's money involved there. There's deep pockets. The incentives are there, and so you just eliminate that, and it almost always will be better.
That's like the number one
pre-selection. Yeah, pre-selection is number two. If you're pre-selected as a desirable, attractive mate, such as Nuke says here, that'll go a long way to shutting allegations down. You would be surprised how vicious women get with each other. So if I put those two together, I'll come up with a hypothesis of savage math. You guys like my savage math, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You really want to avoid it and you're close to being the player. Only date women in multiples. Only marry them in multiples. Only have girlfriends in multiples. 1, nope. Always 2, 3, and 4. Always have sex in multiples. Therefore, you always have witnesses and at least 2 of them are on your side. You're perfectly protected. And there you go.
Savage math.
That's good.
No, I actually helped one of my best friends from the military. Before he joined the military, he got accused. Oh, there it is. He got accused of the R word before the military, and it was with his girlfriend, right? And he was a football player. Like all the girls wanted him, but he had his girlfriend. He was kind of loyal to her, or I think so. That's what he said. And he got accused by his girl in a situation, and the people that came to bat for him were the girls. All the girls on campus that knew her and him all went to bat for him, right? And that's just like, again, like if you become attractive at wherever you are in life, you can recruit women. Women will do a lot for you, more than you think. They are really on your side if you are that charming guy, and they will, obviously they won't. There's certain things they will never do, but like they will, they have a little bit of compassion for hot guys. So be hot.
Even if you did it, I mean, the sad thing, look at all those girls that like want to bang Charles Manson. Like, they'll look
that's
bad.
Troy on Trace, baby.
Yeah,
Dark
on
Glenn, Charles Manson did not grape anyone. That's
But
why.
still, that guy was crazy and he murdered a whole bunch of people. And people still wanted to bang him.
That's what's sick and twisted. But
he actually had others murder for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Girls that were murdering for him, right?
Yep.
I mean, look at R. Kelly. He was going around for over 30, 40 years doing what he was doing, and people knew about it. Girls still threw themselves at him, right? And,
yeah.
So as long as you maintain your attractive level, I mean, not saying that you should do it just to get away with stuff, but no, Nuke is right. If you are attractive, right, and you're kind to people, you treat the ugly ones just as well as you treat the pretty ones, and you build a good reputation for yourself. That will definitely help you.
Yes, that's the social component.
I was gonna say, shout out to Justin Waller for that one.
Yeah.
Yep. And so there, AJ, I found the actual one. I've got on the screen
It
here.
builds a lot of buffer in, and some of it's just our mouths too, guys. We get ourselves in trouble. I'm not talking about the false, but people that get miffed and say creepy. Use this as an example. JK. My dad got bitter when I told a woman nice ass. She smiled. He pointed out if he did it, it would be harassment. I also regularly, and my dad's has never touched a weight in his life. So I guess he works out regular and his dad never has. So there must be a physical thing. Let's just take the physical component out of it. There's a way to tell a woman she has a really nice ass without saying it like that and being direct. It's the way you approach it, it's the way you use your voice. All of those things make a huge freaking difference. Hey, miss, I just got to tell you, I got to stop you for a moment. You have an incredible figure. You must be blessed with genetics that just are crazy, or you have done some work that is unbelievable.
Yeah, you always attribute it to like them working hard.
It's amazing. Yeah. And I just wanted to compliment on that. And then you leave it hanging in the air. There's that coquetry that goes with it. Women will accept that all freaking day long. Whereas if I go up and go, nice ass, bitch. I mean, that's basically what you're saying.
That's how I do it. I talk about that in my book. You just go up to chicks and you say, nice ass, bitch. And you just get played.
Well, if you do enough of them, you're going to score.
Well, it's like they've heard that nice ass so many times. Next time they hear it, they want somebody to be creative in the way that they deliver it to them.
Dang, girl, you look like a Pixar mom.
A woman would take those compliments when framed correctly, even from an old codger that's overweight, and not have an issue with it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull that.
My glass,
I
got my glasses like this. I'm going, nice ass. that ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, it's like this thing that Mike added right here.
Yeah.
Good, Susan. Then you look good, Susan. Hello, HR.
Yep.
Guys, that's really true, though. I talked about corporations earlier. Unwelcome comments and behavior.
I had
that fits that mold.
Well, you have to do the annual HR sexual harassment training. In one company I worked for, they had an example of acceptable compliments that you can give women, and one of them was, "Hey, you're looking sharp," right? And
That used to be the norm. Yeah.
you can actually say looking sharp in
what you tell a
a
dude.
charming way and do all right. But going back to what you guys have been saying, dipping your pen in company ink is a fucking terrible idea.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you have to say,
past that.
Even
Like,
even
I'm
if it works out, best case scenario,
It almost
if it-
never does, though.
No,
Like,
no, no,
I don't
but-
know
but
a lot
let-
of people.
let's say that it does. You successfully hook up with her, you date her for a little bit, and then you break up. Now you have to see her every fucking day at work, and it's awkward as fuck. That's best case scenario. Worst case, right? She files some kind of complaint. It ends up either in your permanent record or you get fucking fired. Like, it's just a bad idea. There's so many other women out there. There's no reason to even do it.
That's like one of my cardinal rules for dating is I don't shit where I eat, which is don't date anyone at work.
Yeah.
Now, if you do make that mistake, right, and you end up getting with the chick, you either find a job, get another job before you break up with her, or you stay with her until she leaves the company and breaks up with you. Like, because like you're screwed either other way. You either
I
gotta leave
always tell
that
the
job.
girl. I always
But
tell
like,
the girl, if you want to date me, one of us needs to quit this job, and it ain't gonna be me.
well, it's also like don't just like pick up chicks at work, but if you go to a gym, like you like your gym, like that's your gym, like that's your home gym, like that's your spot, right? Don't fuck girls there either.
nah,
Nope.
you got to build a harem.
Anywhere
They'll
that
take
you
care of
find
themselves.
anywhere that you find comfort at, like you find like that's like part of your
solace.
yeah.
Glenn, is that why you have 2 gym memberships?
I have like 4.
Yes,
That's why, like, Rollo refers to this kind of stuff as sexual zones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it's important to sort of have a designation on what's a sexual zone
Well,
and what's not, you know?
Did you guys see the clip? I mean, if you're going to do any of these talks at work and you really want to say something to me, just look at the language a little different. Make it ambiguous. You want to compliment a woman, just say, "Hey, Susan, your fashion sense today is very on point," or "Your fashion sense is shows a lot of taste." You didn't tell her that it tastes like shit. You didn't tell her that it tastes really good. You can do things like that, and you're not going to go anywhere, really. I mean, they actually teach us as managers to do stuff like that. When I was supervising quite a bit, and it's amazing how much they go into it. I think our sexual harassment is quarterly. So think of the money that everybody's spending. It's
I
pretty
just
low.
never compliment women at work ever unless it's specifically something work related.
Work oriented.
Hey,
Yeah.
good job on that server.
I work remotely from home, so I'm good.
Guys can't do that though. Here's a problem. Nature, you put a man and a woman together for a length of time, things are going to happen. Do you guys ever put mice together, male and female? Something happens a few months later. Little mini mice start appearing. Okay, there's a nature
mini
component
mice.
here. Yeah, there's a natural component here that we think we're above, and we're not. We're just not. And so
We're just animals, baby. At the end of the
And
day,
here's the other thing, like guys, church is not a good place either.
No.
That's actually most likely not saying the most like obvious place you might get a case, but in the Christian sphere, no, you'll definitely get something there if you hook up with some chick and things didn't go well, right? Rumors will get around that something happened and that you took advantage of her. And although they may not prosecute you, they will definitely ostracize you out of that church.
And
so
that was my whole new plan was to start going to church, even though I'm not a Christian, just to pick up girls.
that's right. That's where you're supposed to meet wife material.
no, I don't even tell guys to meet girls at church. You're not going to meet the
No.
girl at church.
I don't know. You'd think that the guys on Twitter would.
Yeah.
They all think that they're
Yeah,
they're
Matt
real.
Walsh.
A real.
Don't tell
woman.
you have a calendar. Don't tell them about your calendars that you have.
Guys, the third component I would recommend when you're protecting yourself is to use discretion.
Yep.
Discretion on social media, discretion in person.
Yep.
You kiss, you don't tell. And here's another thing: say good things about all the exes, even if you don't like them. In public, this changes the general energy, and it really kind of changes the spirit of you moving in and out with these women and enjoying life, and that'll protect you. Actually, that will actually protect you. They'll move on to a target they got men in their lives. There's enough creeps. Just don't be one, and you won't be as much of a target.
And actually, that'll protect you even if like that relationship with the chick breaks up. If she doesn't have any record of you talking crap about your ex, or things that your ex may have said about you, whatever,
Right.
they can never use that as ammo against you.
Character. Right.
Yep. So if you never attack your ex, even though they may be a whore and cheating slut, but if you always say nice, good things about them, you know, and you just say like, you know, for whatever reason it didn't work out, and you know, you wish them the best and all that stuff, they will never be able to use anything against you. You don't want to give them any ammo. And I know it sounds like we're still like being like hyper, like you know, maybe over cautious. I don't know if you could actually be at this point really over cautious. Can you be too prepared? I don't think so. You know, like I wouldn't recommend bringing the girl home to your place on the first night. Don't bring the girl to your place, hotel or her place, you know, or do it in the bathroom at the gym like I did. You know, like, but don't bring her to where you live until you are ready until you feel comfortable with her knowing where you live. You know, it just little things like that is really important to start practicing or start at least thinking about, you know, because as we expect the, you know, red pill to be under more attack within the next year, guarantee what's also going to be in the news is going to be red pill guys and, you know, SA or great.
Big article, a big bombshell.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you somebody, God forbid, but somebody's going to catch that case in this space.
Oh God, I don't want to imagine it. God.
I mean, it's already kind of happening with the whole Tate situation in a way. When he was RP adjacent, that's when they went after him.
No, he's never been really RP, but I mean, I get that, but I'm saying like, but he was a target, right? And you can see why they were motivated to do it. Yeah. It's not going to be like a guy that big. It's going to be a guy that just happens to be a follower of one of our channels, or maybe a like a small channel content creator that's coming up that's going to end up catching the case. Because like Tate, you can say, "Oh, it was Tate." Well, yeah, look at how much eyes that he had on him.
Yeah,
he gave people reason to, but it's going to be the guy that just kind of is average, above, you know, just not below the radar. That's going to get hit, and it's going to shock everybody.
Well, it's like you had the same thing with the guy who was with the 21 convention that did that whole entire crazy shooting on Christmas or whenever it was a couple years ago.
Oh, you're talking about the guy in Colorado?
Yeah, that guy.
Roman McClay. Yeah, Roman McClay, yeah. That's, I mean,
former 21 convention guy.
Yeah.
You know, he funny thing is, like, I know he challenged Phil Foster to like fight him, and wanted Phil to go up to that dude's property to fight him, and Phil's like, no.
Pro wrestling or get the fuck out, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. The only way to settle your differences in the Manosphere.
Speaking,
I would also say, just Sunday. I would also say, don't mess with chicks that are married, because when let's say they find the husband finds out, she's gonna be like, how do I get out of this? Where I save my where I keep my my reputation intact.
That was one of the things I did see. Yeah, that's one of the things I did see when I was doing the research for this show was some of the false accusations do come from either kids or married women. Yeah, not kids, but younger adults. When they shouldn't have been doing something they shouldn't have been doing, like, oh shit, I'm gonna be in trouble. How do I get out of this? Even my ex, when she cheated on me, was like,
right?
Say again.
And don't be a personal trainer. Don't do that. Don't be a personal trainer and sleep around with chicks. Okay, that's a very bad look.
Or do.
I mean, it works. It definitely gets you in there. That's for sure. Let me just say that. Like, you definitely get in.
My take on sleeping with like married women and like dudes' girlfriends is this. You don't know what you don't know. You know, when you go up and you talk to a chick, a lot of times chicks are looking to get out of whatever their relationship. That's not on you. That's on them. And you often, so I often don't like, I tell guys, don't ask if she's seeing anybody. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But just be aware that you know, their husband could come knocking with a shotgun someday. So just make sure that you're loaded for bear too. You know what I mean? Like, you're ready to throw down too. You know, just at any given moment.
Again, with that, don't shit where you eat. If you find out that she's married or in an LTR or something like that,
yeah, it's probably good to
don't go to her place. Don't go to your place, either your car or a hotel. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And if you want the best outcome,
don't post about it. Yeah, don't post about the women that you know.
Yeah. And if you want the best outcome, guys, hit up Thor for some private coaching. Thor has a lot of experience with the swinger scene, and that's a very organized, very what would you call it, Thor? Like very organized,
Ethical?
disciplined, and
Ethical.
Well,
It's
what
agreed
was that?
upon.
On what did you say?
We're talking about the lifestyle. The
He
lifestyle.
operates in
Oh, the lifestyle.
discretion.
Yeah.
He got
That could be
discretion
ethical.
on lock.
Yeah,
Thor
lifestyle.
will help you navigate discretion very well.
yes.
Mhm. It's entirely possible, and there's success that has been had there, but it's just got the same pitfalls that all other relationships do.
hmm Sorry if I misspoke there, Thor.
Oh, that's quite all right. It's no problem.
Right.
Speaking of the DragonShip, I just
But-
dropped
But
the
the
monthly.
details behind it will be behind paywall for obvious reasons on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Obviously.
So join the Dragons membership, and you'll see it all.
Just dropped the affiliate
Once
link
again,
for that.
The YouTube channel is 99 cents per month, but the Dragons is where it's at, guys. Definitely. And Beer Club. So I'm going to promote both of those. Beer Club's a little bit more relaxed. It's very social. And the Dragons membership is to really connect with other guys on a social level and actually get some education and share that education with each other. So here's the thing. With Red Pill and with this type of content, as we have found these tools super useful, we need to be able to communicate it to other men that are willing to receive it. There's lots of men that won't. But once they take the suppository, they're going to look for mentors. And that's really what the Dragons is all about. It's about bringing mentors back into this space because this information really needs to be cast into the future if we are going to have hope of having really good relationships with men and women. And you should. It's essentially seamless, and it makes your life very fulfilled when you have those kind of relationships. I guarantee it. I've lived it. I continue to live it. So anyway.
And shout out to JK again for another $10 super chat. I don't know whose channel, but
I'll say this: if you guys join Beer Club, you can watch the stream tomorrow night too, because we're streaming it to Beer Club members as well.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Join Beer
I
Club
wanna
or
see it.
sign up for my membership.
Yeah, sign up
Yeah,
for Glenn's
yeah.
membership.
Sign up for Glenn's membership.
I think one of my membership is my other account.
Yeah, hey, I'll go ahead and announce this. JK. You know an Odin's coming. Listen to that silky voice. Odin. Nice ass bitch. Gave me a good laugh. I know. You like that? Nice bitch. There's a way to do things, and there's a way not to do things, gentlemen. Let's just do the things the way they're supposed to be done.
Don't be McFly from
Yes.
Back to the Future.
The
Don't
girls
be
just
too
want to play the
thirsty.
game. Don't
you
explain.
mean don't sleep with
the
your
game.
mother?
No, his dad.
Oh, George McFly.
George, don't be in the tree with the binoculars watching her undress.
Oh,
Right.
jeez. Yeah, I forgot
If you
about
play
that.
your cards right, you can watch her undress in person, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, guys.
Well, it's like also just don't be so thirsty.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you really do it right, she will not be able to keep her clothes on. She will make it a point that something's happening, which is an amazing, beautiful thing to see.
Mhm.
Once they cross that urgency arousal threshold, holy crap, you're in for a ride, son.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you say no, well, you might end up with a false allegation. Let me just put it that way. Once they
Yeah, the false allegation will be, are you gay?
yeah. Once they cross that urgency arousal threshold and you say no, look out. There's going to be an allegation.
Yep. And they're gonna start like sending you like their gay friends info. Like, just
What voice of experience there, Glenn?
no, never that.
Yeah. Asking for a friend. Right.
No, it's funny. Like, it's not funny. It's like, but after I went through my case and stuff, it's really hard to like. You have that natural desire, and you may be really good with women publicly, but it's like you get like trigger shy. Like,
Yeah.
like you don't like. It's like, man, you want to pull the trigger, but it's like you get in your head, like you psychologically get in your head. You're like, man, is she really sending me the signal? Like, and then.
Like an
You
abused
start
dog.
like getting in. You end up screwing things up for yourself in scenarios when they're just like giving you a layup. And they're
It's
just like,
the hypervigilance that comes from being quote unquote abused.
yep. And it sucks. Like I don't wish anybody that. I don't even wish it for my worst enemy. But
I had to live with them with my friend who had that, and he couldn't he had female friends and they loved him, but like when it came to dating, he said like he couldn't date for a year. Like he would always, every girl he was pursuing fell apart because he couldn't, like it was just a trauma, something like he couldn't get that past that block. So yeah, it's really sad to see.
Like when I got married the first time, like I used to have to be belligerently drunk to sleep with my wife because I just couldn't do it.
Damn.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was rough for the first several years.
All right, we've been going for about hour 45. Let's do a round table and wrap it up. Let's start with,
sounds like a plan.
Let's start with Mike. What do you got going on, man?
Just prepping for New Year's. Not a whole lot going on right now. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for inviting me today. It's an honor.
All right, thanks, Mike. Let's go, Nuke. What do you got going on now that you're on Rule Zero, big dog?
Shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. I talk, I kind of do a mix between red pill stuff and then actionable dating advice, and all that. Working on some stuff. I think I'm going to start writing a book this month or this coming January. So it'll be based on my thread, and it'll be like very personal stories of my life, of how I got to where I am today. So that'll probably be done maybe later on this year. So if I get my head out of my ass, but and then obviously DragonShip on Saturdays when I can make it, and then on Sundays we have Post Zero. There's no Post Zero tomorrow, guys. All the guys are busy, but I might do a little bit of streaming in the morning, a little bit of banter. But for the most part, that's all I got going on. So yeah, and then follow all my links. Patreon's up, YouTube membership is up, and if you guys would like a personal call with me just to talk about stuff, just hit me up too. Thank you.
Can I take the super chat?
Yeah, take the super chat.
One of the OGs, Danny Arnold, when telling her, nice ass, bitch, don't forget to give him a little whap on the butt as she passes by with that glorious peach.
You were gonna say something about that, Mike.
And panties will be a dropping.
I was gonna take the super chat, but Thor stepped in.
Thor beat you to it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Mr. Producer, you've been absent, been missing you, bro. What's going on with you now?
Man, so there's a lot of moving pieces that I'm in the middle of right now, just so you guys know. And I've been working on a few projects on the side. Lately, I've been diving into trying to figure out. I found the correlation between feminism and the church. We always knew that feminism has infiltrated the church to some degree. And we just didn't know kind of like really where. Like I didn't know where. Like when did it come in? How did it take place? And one of my viewers who happens to be a former pastor and wrote a book, and he actually did a really deep dive into the history. And I started, I read his book and I realized it, and I started researching this history, and I started to find out that, feminism started in the church. Who knew? And so I'm actually been doing the study and putting together a project where I'm going to be presenting shortly here on my channel about how feminism infiltrated the church, how the church is responsible for a lot of the problems that we have. I would say that, there would be no red pill if the church did their job correctly. There would have been no feminism if the church did their job correctly. If they actually talked about human nature correctly in a way that, not saying that it's sinful, not saying that it's good, but actually not lying about human nature in itself. Acknowledging the way that we are made up, and rather than saying that like women are angels. Right, acknowledging that women could be just as deceptive or violent or evil as men. Acknowledging these things, since they haven't. That's kind of what led to a lot of things that we're having now. Also, I've been looking at why the church changed from a very patriarchal structure to what we have now when it comes to leadership. So, and it's all influenced by feminism and egalitarianism, which just means biblical feminists. So, I've been doing a lot of that lately. I've been also working on some comedy skits and sketches. I wanted to bring that back out. I have, I think, 4 or 5 like scripts written out that I'm going to be enlisting like Thor in. And I have one for me and Paul as well. and I'm going to bring back HUDs on the project as well. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, Sundays I do my stream Sunday night after Rolo. If you guys want to have like the Red Pill Bible study thing, I know MLD does it, but MLD doesn't have the degree like I do. So we get into the minutia of things in our conversations, you know. So yeah, join me there. You catch me here when I'm available on Saturdays and when I'm on Rule Zero.
All righty, thank you, Paul. What you got going on, man?
Man, I am one of the most busiest guys in the manosphere. I'm a busy manospherian. Tune into the podcast Monday. My guest is Paul Serini from Copy Who TV, who was one of the very few people to get to watch Fall Fight Club live, along with Mike Steele. And speaking of Fall Fight Club, we talked about this already, but join Glenn's YouTube membership to watch it streamed live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. What else is going on? I've started working on my new dating course for guys who live in rural flyover country. I'm calling it No Cold Approach in the Cow Pasture, which should be out here in a few weeks. And then other than that, get the book, guys. Get the book. If you guys didn't know, Thor narrated the audiobook. So get it on Audible and listen to the smooth, dominant, masculine voice.
Thor ASMR.
Yes.
Thor ASMR.
Hey Thor, I got a little clip that's kind of like we could bring back, kind of reminisce of our last year during this Manospherian conversation. Do you mind if I share it?
As long as it don't get us banned, brother.
I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but no, I'm kidding.
All right.
I'm kidding. No, it won't. Here we go. Hold on.
Yeah, can we do it like
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. My
Technical
bad.
difficulty.
Well, no,
Um,
Here we go.
All right.
AJ, you want to give us your closing
Here we go.
statements?
I'll let Glenn do his thing
All
real
right.
fast.
Yeah, can we do it like
Talk about Jed,
I was
Torsha.
gonna say,
Brittany.
yeah, Jed, Torsha, and Brittany.
I do. I mean, I know of Torsha. Torsha's an interesting gal, and I think the reason why Rollo likes her so much is because she is motivated to go down these rabbit holes into space. She goes up and looks.
She does not like the term rabbit hole. She thought that was disrespectful.
Content to do her own research. So that's one of the things.
What are you
that
gonna use? Tangent? That's the
I think-
only other word I can think of for rabbit hole.
she has the same sort of appeal that a lot of women in space have.
All factual.
With the boobs and the sips.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's not to say anything bad. And I think if she heard that, she would agree with me on that.
She did not agree. She was very angry with that.
She
Narrator, she did not agree.
Yep, the facts are the facts, guys. Just the facts. That's all.
Cool. Like we're like text buddies, and
Yeah.
it's here in Chicago. Like when I passed through Chicago a lot, we met up. She's cool. She's a cool person. At least she's been cool to me. She needs to figure out what her brand identity is. Like, are you giving advice to women? Are you giving advice to men? Are you
All
entertaining?
right. We've had enough.
Yeah,
Glenn.
she was rolling over Paul,
Yeah.
Paul Benjamin that one time that she was on his show with him. I remember that.
Yeah, we don't want to pick any more scabs and see if pus comes out. Because
Tomorrow there will be seen if any pus comes out.
But we're putting that behind a paywall. We're putting that behind.
And Torsha loves you, so she'll go directly at you.
Yeah, so Torsha, if you want to tune in, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay if you want to see what we're gonna say about you.
Ain't no simping from Paul.
Yeah.
So what do I?
All love. Okay.
So for me, what I got going on, after this, I'm going to start editing a standalone video for doing spray on car washes for you guys to live out in California, or if you're up in the cold areas or in the UK where weather's kind of shit most of the time. I filmed that last weekend or 2 weekends ago. I got to finally get around to editing it. I do plan on doing a live stream tomorrow. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do it on after the dojo and a nap. And then I have it scheduled in my notes for January 14th. I'll be doing a long live stream of the review of Paul's book, because chapter 7 itself could be like an hour. I could talk about that one for an hour.
Yeah, that's a long one.
It's a hell of a good book. Recommend it. I'd say like that book Thor's book. And if you don't want to read the Rational Mail, I'd say go with Rich Cooper's book. It's like a condensed version of the Rational Mail. Those three together work really well. I just started reading Cappy's latest book. Good so far. Other than that, I put my socials in the chat earlier. I'll turn it back over to you, Thor.
Wow, AJ, what a great job you've done today. We really appreciate you. And let me get him back there. But I'm pushing too many buttons right now, as you guys could see.
My hands are off.
No, I know it was me. I had a little fit of Glenn there. So started pushing all the buttons at once. But AJ, you did a fantastic job, man. I appreciate you taking the helm and navigating us through some really tricky waters. It's not easy. And we just had a good old time talking about a whole bunch of Shiite. So that was good. As far as I'm concerned, guys, just check out my book, the audio book, the Dragons membership. Guys, it's well worth it. There is a back catalog of pretty much high-level RP guys doing their thing, giving the webinars, the lectures on all the critical information. It hasn't changed. It's still the same. And it can really help you propel yourself into the future. So, and I want to also encourage you all to like and subscribe every channel here. We've got Paul, we've got RP Thor, we've got Glenn Lawrence, we've got AJM now, AJM Detailing. Okay, get out there. And of course, we got Nuke. Get out there and subscribe and like the channels. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. I have almost no subscribers, so I'd appreciate that as well. Also, it's only 99 cents per month for my membership at this point. I had to revamp that, so hopefully that'll be working for anybody that wants to join. Guys, go see the Fall Fight Club. I cannot wait. I am really looking forward to it. So let's see if we can get you guys there. Where is that video? We'll take you out on it. The Fall Fight Club. Go and see it. Until then, see you next week. Skull.
When you're in a place called the manosphere, you gotta handle shit like men. Real men. And if you're a member of Rule Zero, you know damn well what time it is. Show up or ship out. If you hold the title, you better be damn ready to defend it. Two goes in, one comes out a champ. Who will it be?